We are live. Should be live. All right. We're having some technical difficulties here. We're here.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, everybody. How you doing? We're still getting the hang of adding all these digital images to share with everybody,
Yeah.
but we have some awesome stuff to share today.
Yeah.
I have a whole list of stuff, so this might be a while because Rob's going first, which could take a long time.
Hey, now,
he's going to talk about the product. We wanted to go into a little bit more detail about Kapow, and then I have a bunch of other exciting news and excitement to go into after that. So let's see, go up here to the Kapow stuff. So, and this is going to be Rob, so I'm going to go into hiding now.
Debbie's going to disappear. Yeah. So Kapow is a superhero dice rolling combat game. We've had Kapow at a couple of our conventions. So if you've seen us at PAX Unplugged, or what other show did we have it at? It was
PAX East.
PAX East, yeah, PAX East. Then you would have seen Kapow, but we haven't put it at out in stores yet. So Kapow, actually was produced by Two-Ton Porcupine, these great group of designers from New England, Carl, Larry, and Doug. And we met up with them at the Boston Festival of Indie Games. Their booth was right next to ours, and their game looked really cool.
Their booth was really busy.
Yeah, they were busy. Their game looked really cool. And Debbie got to talking to them, and we were looking to add games to our portfolio. As it turned out, they had self-published this game and were looking to team up with a publisher, because distribution and production and stuff are really hard, and turns out not as fun as designing games. So they actually they came over to Debbie and my place, and we played the game, really loved it, and it has a great feel and speed to it. It feels a lot like playing one of the Realms games, in that it's fast, it's fun. You're sort of modifying your stuff as you play, and it has that same sort of fun, easy to learn, and quick tempo. So we loved it, and so we picked up the line from them, and we've been working with them ever since for a new release for Kapow. So we took on their existing inventory. That's what we demoed and sold at recent shows. And we have a Kickstarter coming up later this year, where we're going to have a reprint, a rework of the original Kapow set, and we're also going to have a brand new Kapow box set with a whole new set of heroes and villains in it. And you could get both of the two sets, and you'll be able to play 4 players. Each set is a complete 2-player game. So it's a lot like the original Star Realms in that sense, where, okay, you got a complete 2-player game. Although Kapow is a big box set, so the box is full-size board game box. So Kapow at its core is a dice game. And there are 2 different types of dice. There are the trait dice. These are custom, very colorful dice. You can see we've got the blue, the red, the green, the yellow, and the purple dice. Each of the dice is good at a particular thing, although they have multiple symbols at them. So for example, the purple is good at rolling shields, so it has lots of shields on it. The yellow is good at rolling the energy, the little arm thing. The red is good at rolling the fists, so it's got multiple fists on it. The blue is good at rolling the energy symbol, the X factor, the little atomic symbol. So each die has things that it's good at rolling, and then There's also the little lightning bolt, which is the wild symbol, and the white side, which is a blank. And you have a player board, and you have action dice. The action dice, let's bring those up. These dice are really cool. These are customizable dice. So these dice have faces you can see that are separate, and you can attach them directly to the dice. So the faces just pop into the side of the die, and you can customize the die when you play and get specific faces on it. When you're playing the game, each turn you're going to roll all your dice, and then you're going to assign your dice to do different stuff. And there's a board when you put the dice on. We'll bring that up there. And so on this board, you have a whole bunch of different symbols on it. The first time you look at it, it might look a little bit intimidating because there's all, a whole bunch of stuff on there, but it's actually incredibly simple to use. So basically you roll the dice, and you'll see each of those things has some number of symbols on it. And in order to use that power, you just fill it up with all the symbols that are on that thing. And some of them will say any die, in which case you can use any die. Some of them will say any action die, and that the action dice are those big ones that are customizable and you add the faces to. And then others will have, and most of them will have particular faces on it. So it doesn't matter which die it is, as long as it has that face, you can put it on there. If it's got the little lightning bolt, you can use it for anything. It's a wild. And there are 3 general core categories of things you can do. You can attack, which gives you combat. And so just like in Star Realms, you use your combat on your opponent, reduce their score. If you can get their score down to 0, you win. There's defense. Defense will prevent damage from your opponent's attack. And then finally, there's power up. And power up's it's kind of like buying stuff from the trade row in Star Realms. When you power up, you're going to increase the stuff that you're doing. You're going to gain additional dice. You can gain additional trait dice. You can gain additional action dice. You can gain the additional faces, those little things that you put on the action dice to customize them. And so each turn, you're going to be rolling your dice, assigning them. And one of the cool things about the game is the turns are simultaneous. So you and your opponent both grab your dice and roll them, and you'll simultaneously apply them. And then, and you do it in secret. As Debbie just said, you have player screens, so like a little DM screen style thing from role-playing games. But basically, you've got a screen, so your opponent can't see your dice. You roll, you assign your dice on the board, and then you both simultaneously pick up your screens, reveal what you rolled, and then you apply the attacks, apply the defense, apply the power-ups, and then you move on to your next turn roll. So it's a very quick process and a lot of fun. And when you finish playing, you really want to play again. There's a go ahead,
I just wanted to, you had a question. A couple of people joined after you mentioned sort of the backstory. Do you want to just revisit just that this is a game that we have coming to Kickstarter?
Yeah, so this is Kapow that we're talking about now. This is a game that's going to be coming to Kickstarter later this year. This game was designed by some really awesome game designers in New England, the 2 Ton Porcupine guys. It's Carl, Larry, and Doug, and they did a phenomenal job with this game. There was an initial very small print run that they did. We picked up the game from them, sold the all of their inventory at conventions this last year, and we are doing a Kickstarter for a reprint and a reboot of the base set, plus an expansion set, which will be standalone. So basically, we have Kapow Volume 1, which is the base game, and Kapow Volume 2, which will be fully playable on its own, a new set of heroes and villains in that. And they're each a complete 2-player game. You can combine them together to be able to support up to 4 players. So that's the Kapow game. When your first time you play, we encourage people to play something called sidekick mode, where you basically just have a starting set of 1 of each die plus an action die, and That's and then you just roll the dice, apply, take your turns as I described. Once you sort of know how the game works, there are heroes and villains that you can play. These are special characters, this is the one we have up on the screen here is Fuse. He's a villain from the new set, so this is the first time he's been shown. Now, this isn't the final version. This is our initial draft. We've actually been every day. I've been doing some play testing with CJ Moynihan, who's did lead design on our recent epic sets, and he's we're really fortunate in our family. We've got a lot of great gamers, so basically we're quarantined with enough gamers for playtesting. So this is a character board. So basically, when you have this, you put this board next to that board I showed with the dice on it, and this represents who you're playing. And this adds a ton of replayability to the game. So when you're playing this character, you have a specific starting health, which you can see there next to the picture. And there are a set of starting dice, which are listed by the color squares there. And then the black squares represent action dice. And then you'll have some starting faces that go on the dice. And then you can see there are some special abilities on this board. And these are custom to this character. So no other character's going to have these powers. These are powers that are unique to this hero or villain. And so you can put your dice on these instead of the stuff on or in addition to the stuff on the regular action board. So the places that you're allowed to put your dice are anywhere on the big player board, and also onto these abilities on your character board. So between the different starting health, the different starting dice, and these custom powers that each hero and villain have, you have a lot of really cool different replayability, and each one of the characters feels really different when you're playing them. This guy's got a really cool delayed attack where you can put just a single die with that might icon, the fist icon on it, and each turn you move it along on the one space on the track, and at the final turn it does a massive attack. So basically, he's got a delayed reaction attack for his bomb. Bad news is your opponent can see it coming, so they can prepare lots of defense, but it has quite a wallop to it. And so this is an example of a villain, and we've got and then Riot. This is an example of a hero. And she has some really cool abilities. She can do multi attacks, and those your opponent's defense will apply against each one of those. So if they have let's say you did two attacks for 10. If they had an 8 defense, they would take 2 and 2, so they'd take 4. But if they had 0 defense, they'd take 20, etc. So there's there's a bunch of really cool heroes and villains in the base set, and there are these awesome new heroes and villains that we have for the upcoming one. And again, these are the initial versions. They're going to be tweaked a bit before they come to the final version. We'll probably do a separate video at some point on the play testing and development process. We're making several tweaks to working with the original designers. We're doing some development on the game itself, making a bunch of little tweaks to it to try and bring the gameplay to even higher level. And of course, we're doing development on the new characters and such coming from the game. So we're super excited about this. Look for Look for Kapow on Kickstarter later this year, and the game is super fun. And for anybody who has Kapow already from either from one of getting it from us from one of the shows, or from the Two-Time Porcupine guys before White Wizard Games took it over. For any of the tweaks that we're making to the base game, that stuff is going to be available for download online. So you'll be able to update your original set with the new rules for free. And of course, if you want to buy the additional content, new content on the Kickstarter, that will be available. So that is Kapow. We're super excited about it. It's really fun. It's been the shows has been phenomenally popular. People have been loving it. So super fun. Can't wait to get that out on out to everybody on the Kickstarter.
Awesome. So I wanted to cover a few announcements. One is, and share some spoilers. Rob usually has all the fun sharing spoilers. So a lot of people have asked, are we doing a Legend series? So I don't have all the details for you today, but we've set dates and we've talked with the Origins online team. We are still working through the details of how we'll be running the tournaments, but on Saturday, Saturday, June 20th at 1 p.m. Eastern time. We'll be sharing more information. Just consider this like a save the date of this is when it's going to be happening. For Star Realms, I know people will also ask which sets are we playing with. We'll be getting back to you with information on that.
So for anybody who doesn't know, Origins is doing a digital convention.
Yes.
So basically, obviously, due to the COVID-19 thing, conventions are shut down. Origins is doing a online convention, so you'll be able to basically participate in games and watch streams and all kinds of things organized by the Origins guys. So that's really cool.
They have so much going on.
Yeah. So
I just also I should have went into a little bit more detail about the Legend series. If anyone isn't familiar with our Legend series yet, if you win the Legend series, you become a card in the game, which is pretty exciting. Basically, if you're a winner, you send in images of yourself to us, and one of our artists will create a beautiful, gorgeous illustration based on you to be on a card. And I'm going to be sharing some examples of cards and art on this call so you can get an idea and get excited and, want to participate in those.
It's a super cool prize. We've done them at Origins in previous years. And because we have the digital apps for Epic and Star Realms, we're able to, with some finagling, run those events online.
Yeah, so we'll get back to you with details on that. Here is an example. This was not a Legend Series winner. We have Bebo from the board game community and I were chatting about, some of the awesome people in the community that help grow the community and do a lot in the community. And Becca Scott was one of them. And Bebo was like, hey, I could go around and take some photos of people. And maybe that, we talked about we could get them on some of our cards and it would be cool to help promote these individuals and also have some really cool people as part of the game. This particular card will be in High Alert in Star Realms, and it is based on Becca Scott, who, if you're not familiar with her, I think many of you are, but she has Good Time Society is her current channel right now, and she's also pretty famous for the Game series and How to Play series. She's done tons of things in sort of the geek universe. She's hosted Magic the Gathering Championship. She's participated in lots of television shows and in movies like The Hacker, all kind of geek themed, generally speaking, is sort of her genre, but she's totally awesome and cool. And she was like, yeah, sure, you can take some pictures of me. And I have some other examples of cards like this as well. And, if you have ideas of people who've done a lot for the community, you can also make suggestions for us on this as well. But we kind of took a bunch of pictures and over time we'll incorporate those in. But don't worry, still plenty of room for Legend series. So, so we're pretty excited about these. And also for Epic, we'll also be running an Epic. So we'll be running Star Realms and Epic at Origins online. The Epic will be on Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern, and this the Star Realms one will be on Saturday. We decided to run those 2 games because we have the digital apps for those, which makes it easier. That being said, if you're a Hero Realms fan or you're a Sorcerer fan, like, we do want to, eventually have the ability for people to play those games as well digitally. So we don't have that yet. So for this event, we'll be doing Star Realms and Epic. And I wanted to share with you an example of an Epic card. So this is Ben Green, an awesome member of our community who won a PAX Legend Series. He wanted to be riding a dragon or with a dragon, and we happen to have this awesome Knight of the Dragon card in the new duel set that's coming out for Epic. And so I think this is an incredible piece of art. It's an airborne champion.
So a fun little story on this. We had a placeholder piece of art that we were using while we were getting his art finalized, and he was in contact with Darwin, who does our art direction and such. And he knew he was going to be this card, and it was coming up. But in the digital app, we are bringing the Epic Duels into that app, we had an early version of it for the beta testers, and his art wasn't ready yet, but he was almost done, but it wasn't quite ready yet. And so and now of course it's done, but he knew his art was coming. He was very excited about his card, and then we had the version of the placeholder art in the app, and he happened to be a beta tester, so he saw the card, which he knew he was going to be, but the face is very small on that placeholder art, and he was like, "Is this supposed to be me? I'm not sure." And,
he sent me a message, and I was like, "Hey, is this?"
Yeah, so I felt really bad because he was, like, "Wow, they did a terrible job." No, that was just placeholder. Now that art you just saw, that is his actual card. That'll be, of course, in the Epic Digital app, and in the upcoming dual set that's going to be going to Kickstarter backers, and then later into stores. And Duels is actually going to be the new intro set for Epic. It's Epic's a little more advanced than Star Realms and Hero Realms. If you've tried it out and thought, "Oh boy, that's a little much for me," the Duel set is a really great learning set. It has cards that are, while still super interesting and powerful for play, they're a little bit easier to understand. There's also a complete game walkthrough in it, and it comes with all the components for keeping score and tons of tokens and everything you need. So it's a really, really great starting set for Epic. It's going to become the new starting set, and the original base set will be something that can be added to that to really increase your quantity of cards. So he's going to be in that, and of course in the digital side. That's one of the great things about the Legend Series stuff is you get a double awesomeness, because you get a card in the physical game, and then of course your card's also in the digital game, which is super cool.
Yeah, and his art is really sweet. I want to be on a card with the dragon. I'm just saying. I don't know about everyone else.
Yeah.
Peter, would like to be a blob, and he's willing to be 100% blob. The Becca card was she's dual faction, so she's part blob and part, I guess, Trade Federation. And but Peter said he's willing, so we could just change the name of one of the blob cards.
Yeah, exactly.
To something Schultz, and we'll make him very happy. What do you think?
Maybe he could have been eaten by a blob.
We'll think about that, Peter. So I want to share a couple other pieces of art. I don't have the card files for these yet, but these are, I have 2 cards. They're alt art versions of cards that are in the base set for Hero Realm. So one is Rayla the Endweaver. She was an evil card in the base set. And this features, hopefully y'all can recognize her because our artists do an amazing job on these. Mandy Hutchinson, she is amazing, super fun member of the community. She's part of the Dice Tower team. She does the Apptastic series with Suze Sheldon, where they just recently played Epic. It was really fun. And she wore these really awesome cat headphones, pink cat headphones that I had to go out and get for myself because they were so cute. And she also has a To Die For Games blog as well that she does. And she's just an amazing person. She's always been a big fan of our games and helped to promote our games through her network. She has done live plays of the campaign, for example, of the Ruin of Thandar campaign, which is, as anyone knows who's played the campaign, takes a setup and you got to learn how to play and everything. So we really appreciate everything that she's done. And we thought she would make an awesome Rayla. And this card is going to be in a future reprint of Hero Realms, the base game. And we are also talking about making it available as an alt art promo card.
Yeah, we're if you already have, obviously many of you already have the Hero Realms base game. If you've already got it, we're gonna have a way for you to get the alt art, pick up the alt art cards if you want them. And of course, the new printings will have the new artwork, which is super, super sweet.
Oh yeah, she's also known as Board Game Pinup Girl. So if you follow her on Twitter or Facebook, she's BG Pinup Girl on Facebook. So Mandy Hutchinson, that's Mandy. And then Jeremy Howard, this was based on his photograph that was, again, taken as part of the set of photographs that Bebo, the wonderful Bebo, took for us. Jeremy, I really love him in this card. Yeah. He's also been a huge fan of our products. He is part of the Man vs. Meeple team and he's so active. So if you haven't seen him, then you're probably not a member of any board game groups because he's always doing live streams and posting around. He also plays games with his son, which is really fun to watch if you like to learn about different kids games. I love to look for new kids games for my daughter and I, so I love watching him do that. But he does a lot of solo playthroughs, so he's going to be covering Hero Realms pretty soon. I think in the month of June, he said he was going to put on a schedule for solo playthrough with the campaign, so he'll show you how to do the campaign solo, which should be. I think he might play actually multiple characters in it. I'm not sure what his plans are for that, but this card is the Man at Arms card. Again, it's in the base set of Hero Realms. It's an alt art version, but it will be in a future reprint of the Hero Realms base game. So, and we will be making the card available for people who want to get these alt art cards because, Jeremy and Mandy are super cool.
Yeah, he's looking awesome on that card.
So, so those are all the spoilers I have for today. If you have specific things you want us to spoil in the future, here, let me click this off so you can see Rob too. If you have things you want to see us spoil, if things you want to see us cover in the future, I have a couple more things to chat about really quick, but please put it in the comments here. You can message us, you can, ping me, ping Katie, Rob, whoever, but we're happy to cover what you're interested in. We do spend a bit of time prepping for these. I know it might not seem like it, but trying to give you information that you'd like to have. So let us know if you like, or if you don't like some things, more of some things, less of some things, please let us know. I want to mention Girls Game Shelf. It's an awesome group. It's on Facebook and on Twitter, and they also do live streams and videos. My friend Anne-Marie runs this group, and she is such a big fan. She messaged me and she said, Debbie, need to be a little more organized. I accidentally backed Hero Realms twice. So she has 2 sets of the Lost Village, the tier that comes with Lost Village, the Ancestry Pack, the Journeys packs, and the promo packs. I know I've gotten some messages of people who are like, oh, I didn't know about this Kickstarter. How do I get it? The Girls Game Shelf is going to be giving away that extra set. So we will post more details on our social media. So if you're not following us, I'm in charge of marketing, so this is my pitch to go follow us on all social media channels right now. But there is where you get a chance. So basically, it'll be something like follow us on Facebook, follow them on Facebook. Maybe there'll be a hashtag or something. We're going to post details. I need to work through the details. We just had this conversation last night, but I'm super excited to help promote them because they do daily playthroughs 3 times a week. They play games, super awesome, cool stuff. So I highly recommend them as well. So, and if people have other, communities or podcasts or videos that they really like, that they're like, hey, these guys are cool, you guys should help promote them. We always want to help promote. we especially love up and coming, new channels that don't have a lot of following. We'd love to help them. We also will send review copies of our games. I know some people are like, how many followers do you have? We do encourage new channels as well. So we don't have a minimum follower requirement when we send out review copies of our game, but we want to know like what someone's plan, what they're going to do, how they're going to cover it. So let us know if there's a channel that you think we should work with. And let's see. Oh, this is like the most fun thing. I'm just going to pop this up really quick. Thanks, Ori Kagan, for another awesome video, Scout versus Viper. And then I'm going to show Rob so we can both like just schmooze over how much we love this.
So if you haven't seen the original Scout versus Viper video, super funny for Star Realms fans. When it first came out, like, I didn't, didn't know he was working on it, and then he showed it to us to basically get permission to put it out, and we just loved it. super funny. He's got a new episode out. He just made.
So Katie, if you can post the link in the comments here and also on the Star Realms page as well, but. We watched it. He sent it to me this morning. I was like, Rob, we gotta watch this right now. And we were cracking up. It's so cute. And it stars all of the voice actors in the video, which there are quite a few.
Yeah.
Are members of the Star Realms community. The names are at the end. So then you have to go back and watch through and be like, that's Paul.
And speaking of communities, if you're a fan of any of our games, there are great groups on social media. Facebook fan groups. There's also activity on Board Game Geek, lots of tournaments and stuff that are done offline or online, excuse me. And all kinds of great play. So it's a great place to get together with everybody. And as Debbie said, voice actors from this are very active.
I think Ori needs to be on a card. I'm just saying. So these things are amazing.
Yeah. So anyway, nice job, Ori. That's it's super fun, and we loved it.
Yeah, and we had a couple other questions. So the Sorcerer Kickstarter. We have an update on the timeline for the Sorcerer Kickstarter.
So
I think that's what they're asking.
Yeah. So basically, we're looking to go live in June for that Kickstarter. We're basically finalizing, working on the page, working on the, finalizing the videos. We've shot all the video stuff for it, all the design elements that we needed for the Kickstarter are done, but there's a lot of like building and putting the pieces together and, basically making the video look pretty, making the page look pretty. We covered some Sorcerer last week. The Seth character pack, who's a gunslinging sorcerer who takes the sins of his victims and crafts them into magical bullets, which he rains down on his enemies. Really cool character. Next week we're going to be covering another new pack that's going to be available in the Kickstarter. And if you haven't tried Sorcerer out, game is super fun. Big box game, complete game for 2 to 4 players. Dark fantasy, so it's not for the little ones because it's got a horror theme. But really great dice and card strategy game. Playtime about 90 minutes ish for a 2-player game. Really fun, amazing replayability. So check out Sorcerer if you have not already. Oh yeah, the art is just amazing. I
love the creepiness of it.
Yeah.
Peter has a dark mind.
Yeah.
He had it out. Ori wanted to know we could be voice parts.
Yeah, I don't know. Sure. Yeah.
And then sleeves. So here are sleeves. Quickly comment on that. So I don't have dates yet on that. They are completed at the factory. We're working on with the logistics partner to get dates, and I'm waiting on dates on how long it will take and when we expect them to arrive at the different regions. So I expect to have an update this week, and I'm sorry it's taken a while to get that feedback back and forth from the factory, but they're ready to go, and we have people working on the transportation, but it's going to take a little bit of time for them to get back to us. Or I've been checking with them a couple times a week. So, all right, you won't regret it.
So on the Hero Realms Kickstarter, we're continuing to work through distribution for. I know many people have gotten it, but obviously distribution's taken longer than normal because of the all the shutdowns and the social distancing necessary in the fulfillment centers, and et cetera. So we're working through it as best we can to
And I want to add to that, there was, when we had originally given the Games Quest update, that they had finally reopened, that they were only shipping to the UK and to, what was the other country? Germany, I think. They were only shipping to like 2 different regions in Europe, one country in the United Kingdom as a region in Europe. And we went through all that with them. And one of the issues was there's a lot of surcharges in place because of COVID. People are charging more because they need to do social distancing and things cost more. So we did go ahead and approve to pay those surcharges because we want everyone to get their stuff.
Yeah, it's not going to cost the backers anything extra. So if you're in like Sweden
or like any other European country, if you haven't got your shipping notification, it will be coming. They are shipping out to the other regions. But they're doing social distancing. They're trying to fulfill a lot of stuff right now. So I don't know if they've all already processed, but they should be moving forward. So if you're in Europe and you haven't yet got your stuff, hang tight. You can also email our support at whitewizardgames.com. We do have access to be able to look up an order and to see what the status is. So if you're very anxious and you must know when you're going to get it, or if it hasn't shipped, you can email support at whitewizardgames.com. And Katie's probably cursing me right now, but she'd be happy to.
She's bored. She's bored. She's got time.
She's been really awesome. It's been so busy whenever we're fulfilling a Kickstarter. Support, gets a lot of inbound activity. So, but she's always happy to help people. So, and like I said, we do have this access to the data from Quartermaster, which is fantastic. So, yeah. So looks like we don't have any other questions.
Awesome. Well, thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone, for joining.
Yeah, and if as Debbie said, if there's anything you want to see in upcoming episodes, just comment. We'd love to incorporate that stuff to show you guys what you're interested in.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.